Okay, the pro-life building burned down a couple of months ago beside the abortion clinic. So the new one, they're going to be here for a year, is across the Royal Bank, and it's right here, right through these doors. And Peter Ryan, the one that ran it, is retiring today. How you doing?
I agree with you.
You agree with me 100%?
100%.
That's good. Do you know what we're talking about?
Whatever it is, it should be good.
Oh yes, should be good. It's right in there. Thank you. So anyway, he's retiring, so let's see what's going on here. So you come here to the door, they're going to be here for a year.
Hey Charles.
How you doing?
Charles.
My God, I didn't even know I had the right place. So
Here we are.
a little bit pre-planned, a little bit, not
Go on
much.
in.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my God, you're popping on.
Well,
Huh?
we try.
We try?
But we're gonna do this in English. if
Well,
we're gonna talk.
en partie le chiac. Okay.
Le chiac, no.
There's no shit, half English, half French. Okay, Peter Ryan.
Last day on the job.
How long you been on the job?
Well, I started pro-life work 39 years ago in September of '77. And
39 years ago.
39 years
I
ago.
was wondering why your hair was all white. Oh, so that's what it is.
Yeah, but it's been good 39 years. No regrets. Very happy.
And we lost a great pioneer a couple of months ago, last month. Elsie Wayne.
Elsie, yes. Very remarkable lady.
Yeah?
Yeah, very privileged to know her for a number of years, and she was like, for a while, she was a bit like the queen of pro-life. You know, people knew who she was, and she was right out there, strong and forceful.
Her and Richard.
But in a dignified way. And yeah, so.
I remember her speech in front of the ledge. Remember that?
Yes, yeah, it was great.
I got a picture of her and Richard and me.
Yeah.
And right beside the wall at the abortion clinic.
Yeah.
She was
yeah.
there. She was great.
She's my ideal of a politician, you know. Say what you believe in, you know, I can respect that. I may not agree with it, but say it. Just tell us where you stand. And I wish there was more like that.
So this is your last day.
Yeah, I'm coasting to the finish line.
And
I'll still be hanging around. What the way I say is this is my new hat. I'm changing hats. I'm not working full time, but I'm still in pro-life. I'm going to be involved, and I'll be a little bit more casual perhaps. And but I'll still be involved, but just not doing the 9 to 5 heavy lifting. And my successor, Heather Hughes, is more than capable to.
How long
take
she's
up
been
the
involved
reins.
in this?
She's just come on stream this summer,
Yeah.
which coincided with our fire.
Yeah.
What a brutal way to start a job. Fire, you know, devastating fire, and it's basically the end of that house there that we've had for
What's going to happen in
years.
that building?
Well, we're dealing with that now, but the likely scenario is we will rebuild on the same location. That's not determined yet, but that is the most likely possibility. And we're here on Carleton Street, 61 Carleton Street for now. We have a year lease here, so we're serving people, serving women. We have our Women's Care Center up and running, and we're doing counseling and ultrasounds for women and that kind of thing, which we do at the house. And anyway,
So
we
when you
look
take
forward to having a better facility.
Yeah.
You know, that old house, it was nice in a way, but it was cold.
Yes, it was old.
The stairs, the girls had to go up these steep stairs.
I went there many
And so-
times.
So we're hoping for a much nicer facility. And we just got to get through all that transition. Got to raise some money because the insurance didn't cover everything that we would have wanted or what we need to build a new place. So we're looking for, donations and that kind of thing over the next few months. And
So what are you thinking about today? What's in your head? Except
gratitude,
can't wait till
yeah,
5 o'clock.
I'm happy to move on, but I'm also very much at peace with all of what I've been doing, and grateful to God for the opportunity to serve in this particular way. because it's hard work being politically incorrect, going against the stream is hard, but it's you find it so hard that the only way you can get through it is if you turn to God and find out that He is there and He wants to help you to do this kind of stuff. And so it's been my way of growing closer to God to enable me just to get up every day and swim against that stream and try to be a bit of a leader. And I think we've done many good things. You know, people say, "Well, what's
the pro-choice people are going to be happy to see you go."
Yeah, I don't know.
You got a message? You got a message for them?
Well, I wish them well. My whole approach to people like that has been to be respectful. One of my moments that I actually enjoyed was meeting Henry Morgenthaler a number of years ago.
Did you mean it?
Yeah, and it was 2003, and he had his lawsuit starting up against New Brunswick. He came to Fredericton to do some legal stuff. He was over there. I knew he was in town. I went looking for him and shook his hand, and he knew who I was. He had heard about me, and he says, and I asked him, can we talk for a while? He says, "Oh, sure, let's go inside my building," which of course was the abortion clinic. Took me in, showed me around. That was interesting, showed me where the abortions take place. And then we sat and had a chat, and that was very interesting for me. And again, I felt the grace of God just helping me to find words to talk to him.
Not choking him, just talk to him.
No, just talking in a respectful way. And we just went back and forth. And the thing that I remember was how he brought up about, so why is it that you people who are against abortion say that abortion is killing a baby? Like, why do you say that? Because it's not, I'm a doctor and I know that it's basically just some cells. It's like your fingernail. He says you cut off your fingernail. It's just some cells. It's no big deal. Well, I just happen to have one of these little fetal models. They're a model of what the baby looks like inside the womb. And, at 8 weeks after conception, the baby is perfectly formed, everything is there, all the organs are there. I had a model at 3 months. So I just pulled it out of my pocket. So I said, well, so what you're saying, is when the pregnancy is kind of like this here, that there's no baby. That's what I hear you saying. There's no baby that's being killed or anything. Is that right? Is that what you're saying? And he kind of looks sort of like puzzled, like startled, and he wasn't prepared for that. And he said, "Give me that thing there." And I passed it to him, and he held it in his hand, this little perfectly formed model of a baby. And I was waiting for him to say, "Oh, this is fake. This is not real." I know, I'm a doctor. He couldn't say that because he knew it was true, and he just passed it back to me silently. And I thought, he can't deny the truth. And then I made the point is, and of course you are doing abortions right here, aren't you, at this stage and later than this, aren't you? And he couldn't say otherwise. So I knew in a way that I had him. And it sort of got through the smoke screen.
You think he had a conscience?
Well, I don't know. That's for God to figure out. He certainly didn't change course after that, right? But the way I look at it, when we took over that building in 2000, is I always thought, okay, we're here, Morgenthaler's there. We're going to outlast him. And we actually did, because he died, and then his clinic shut down. And we were still standing up until the fire anyway. Mm-hmm. So we did outlast him. Now there's a new owner there, and they're doing some abortions as well, but it's not so far anything like the way it was before.
I think it was so. I was emotionally. I was very emotional when I seen. Was it 2 years ago? The pro-life walk beside the pro-choice.
Right.
And walk inches. Side by side, walking in front of the abortion clinic, and not one word was said.
Yeah.
I thought, down the States, oh my God, they would have the riot squad, the bombs, the rocks. Yeah. I thought that was so, it made me so proud to be a Canadian.
Well, we certainly tried to instruct our followers to just don't don't go ballistic. Don't lose your temper. Don't get it. Certainly don't. There's nothing physical. Be respectful.
Both sides. Both sides.
Simply, and they will do whatever they do. And we had to prepare our people. You don't know what they will do. They could spit at you. They could curse at you. Whatever you don't retaliate. Defend yourself. Like, don't allow yourself to be knocked out. But don't retaliate. So that was a spirit that we tried to have.
And then don't.
And a lot of things.
And
that
the other
happened.
side too. They were very, very.
Sometimes they have been.
Yeah.
There have been altercations,
Oh, yeah.
incidents through the years, unfortunate things, and but I don't want to dwell on those right now.
No. I remember, but I got to say this. I remember just once have I seen Graydon Nicholas upset when
Yeah.
he made that speech
At the
at
legislature.
the legislator,
Yeah.
and that I never seen him that way.
That's right.
It's a very emotional issue.
It is. It is. And all of us, we have our personal stories, our personal histories. Like for Graydon, I know, like he was born prematurely. In the winter, his mother felt she was on the Tobique Reserve up by Perth Andover.
Huh?
And she was pregnant 6 months or something like that, and she was crossing the river in the winter, which was iced over, and fell through the ice, and had to be taken to hospital with an emergency premature birth. They didn't think that baby would make it, but that was great, and that's how we started life. And so, and even the doctors say, well, he's not going to make it. And then they thought, well, he's going to be handicapped. He won't be able to function. He won't do well. And look at who.
Wow.
So he has that. That's who he is, and that sense of his own, the dignity and preciousness of his own life
I didn't know that.
is deep in him. And he's we have others. Many of us have other stories, personal stories, and then you see somebody who's. You interpret as being against life. They take a casual approach. They're even pushing for abortion. It does affect you emotionally. It's hard not to sort of get upset.
Your best story. Your best emotional people that went through that door, or the old door, the old building. What's your best story?
My best story.
Emotional, good-hearted story. What's your best stays in your mind?
As I say, the encounter with Morgentaler for me was an emotional thing, and that's what moved me the most. Other ones, I don't know if there's anything that stood out. There are many incidents and what I would call God incidents through the years where women who were planning to have abortions, but some of them walked in by accident to our house, and we were able to talk to them and help them, and people ended up having babies that otherwise those babies were going to go for an abortion. So we had a number of those cases, but there's no one particular that right now stands out. My mind is a little bit numb because I'm coasting to the finish line. But anyway, that's the encounter with Morgentaler. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I remember.
You have an opinion on our Premier, Brian Gallant? I remember when he stood up on that chair, and I could tell by your eyes. Yeah, don't ask me that question on my last day. Facial expression is great. You turn around when he stood up on that chair.
Before the election, I just challenged him for his position, which was he was basically militantly pro-choice, and I just challenged him in terms of there's nothing to back you up. You say that there's a constitutional right to abortion. There isn't. Who says there is? Well, Justin Trudeau says, but what's his backup? There's no legal backup. There's no constitutional scholars or anything like that. So you're just skating on very thin ice. So I challenged him on that position. So, but he, he's gone what he did tell people that that's what he was going to do, going to change the policy of New Brunswick, and that's what he has done.
I think that's the only issue that he really, really stood on.
Yeah,
don't answer that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
What's the best politician? What's the best politician you ever met?
the best. I don't. Elsie would be.
Elsie,
my
yeah,
tops.
yeah,
I don't.
Elsie,
I don't know. There are others.
Bill
that I-
Fraser, how come he hasn't showed up ever since he's been minister? I haven't seen him around. Usually he was there. I like Bill for
Well,
the record.
he was a supporter of life, and then under the new government, everybody has fallen into line with the
Yeah.
government line.
Protocol.
And so there's been a change in a number of cases of liberal MLAs who previously had the freedom to stand up for their own convictions. And it was quite different under Sean Graham. And previous liberal premiers and conservative premiers going back, there was always a freedom. And so it was. I was always I was proud of being a New Brunswicker that, say, in 2009, I think we had something like 17 members of the legislature that came to our rally, and about half liberal, half conservative, and that was remarkable because that represented about 1/3 of the legislature. And you wouldn't find, I don't think that anywhere in the whole of Canada would you find 1/3 of the legislature coming out publicly in support of a controversial issue like this. So I was proud of at that moment, but then that has changed. It's now, unfortunately, the Liberals are no longer, I don't know that they've changed their personal convictions, but politically they don't show them. So
what are you gonna do Monday?
Monday I'll actually be helping my successor Heather to do something for pro-life. So I'll actually be working on Monday in a different way.
You're not gonna
That's
drive the wife crazy by staying home?
No, no, I don't think there's much chance. I've got lots and lots to do. I have lots of things that I want to still do in the pro-life area, sort of specialized thing. I like to write things, so who knows, maybe I'll
Maybe
become,
the Irving Media was gonna hire you?
or I'll become a little bit like...
How about a blogger? How about a blogger?
Like Taddy Renault. You know, Taddy is famous for his letters to the editor, and
No.
maybe you'll see more.
How about a blogger? Hey,
Well, you never know. That seems to be a
yeah, you could.
interesting way. It gets you attention.
If you could get ready for the stress and the police and everything, but you handle stress for 30 years, so you're all
Yeah,
right.
that's right. I don't know. But we also have a large family, so my first obligation will actually be to catch up with my family, because we have 18 grandchildren, for example,
Oh, really?
right now. So that's the first way that I've been pro-life, is having 7 kids, and then they got married and they have all these grandkids, and that's these are human beings that would not even exist except for my wife and I, you know. So that's my first contribution. I need to catch up with them and be a good dad and granddad.
I was going to close it up, but one more thing, that flashbacks. Remember when those posters came here? What was it, 10 years ago? That's
Pollsters.
Remember those pictures were lined up on Brunswick Street, and they were all lined up of abortion. They came from Ontario.
Abortion pictures?
Yeah, remember that?
Right.
I think that was one of the... That was really talk about.
Well, that got a lot of attention.
Oh, it did.
And
That was one of my first blogs. I just started
Oh, yeah.
blogging then.
Uh-huh.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I've always agreed that there is a place for those pictures. I don't myself like the idea of pushing these pictures in people's faces. I like the idea.
But it's the truth.
It is the truth, and I think people should know, and they don't otherwise get the truth, because the school system doesn't teach the kids what abortion is, and so on. So that's part of the rationale for this kind of group that having these pictures as well. Otherwise, society is in denial about what abortion is. So
Picture speaks 1,000 words, right?
It's unpleasant, but it's a little bit like showing. We think it's like showing pictures of the Holocaust of the Jews, which is a terrible thing. But sometimes it's only when we see this terrible thing that the reality hits home. So there is a place, and as you know, my wife got arrested for displaying a picture of an aborted baby.
That's right, remember
and
that.
that was also a bad moment in our history, that she wasn't even allowed the freedom to display that, although eventually the Crown dropped the case because they realized they didn't have anything
Freedom of
much to
expression.
stand on. And but yeah, a lot of things have happened. And
Is that group still around, going around with the posters?
yeah, that group was called Show the Truth, and they're based in Ontario, and I think they still do things.
Listen,
Yeah,
congratulations for a job well done.
nice to know you, Charlie.
It was quite a ride.
Yeah, glad you stopped by.
Good luck.
Yeah, you too.